I think we should be merciful to government. Not merciful though, in the sense that you see it. Merciful in the sense that we want to be human by saying that it will be impracticable to say that they should fix schools overnight, because primarily it's their responsibility. It's nobody else's responsibility but government to establish a sound educational system for Nigeria. So we cannot say do it and it will happen. So we will only say that for the time, for a few years to come, we should be able to have arrived at a certain position if they will start today. Because the major problem is nobody knows exactly when we will start fixing our schools. All the things you are witnessing are mere interventions. And interventions shouldn't govern your educational system. Interventions should be, things that will take the level higher to the peak. Yes. So issues of intervention is not even what we should be discussing. We should be discussing the fact that the Constitution has said education must be provided to citizens, and these citizens, I want to say, are children. It's as simple as that. So to get a good result means primary schools must be fixed. Primary schools must be fixed. This is troubling, how they should fix primary schools. But it is attainable. Attainable in the sense that if the resources, Nigerian resources, must be well utilized. Well utilized. And well utilized means that corruption is out of the way. That's number one, because it's the major problem of the Nigerian society. You understand? Forget the fact that citizens have their own faults here and there. If we are talking about corruption in Nigeria, forget that there is sexual corruption. We are actually talking about how government resources are not properly managed. So forget that the children are promiscuous and all of those things. It is the issue of resources, money. You understand? Because money is what can provide the good that we seek. Money is not bad. It is the most beautiful thing among us. It is bad when not well utilized. So government must be prepared to invest not just the prescription of the United Nations on what they should be putting on the budget annually, 26 or 27%, but they should go ahead of that and earmark maybe 30% of the total budget of the state, of the country, in education. And that should go majorly to primary schools and secondary schools. Issues of tertiary education are not difficult to conquer because the children already possess independent mindedness at that level. But if you they need not to be taught so many things. The primary school and the secondary school levels are points of activation for the child. And that's why, just like in your house, at those levels of being a child, you must exactly know where the child should go through. How do you fix primary schools? How do you fix secondary schools? How do you fix tertiary schools? The first element, factor in these schools is not the structures. It's actually the teacher. It is the teacher. Structures will follow. You understand? Why? Why? If the teacher is well taken care of, if you, as a citizen, you have sound mind, even under the tree, you can produce excellent results. If the teacher is well taken care of, it means even if you have bad roads, they can still produce excellent students. If the teacher is well taken care of, with or without electricity, they will still produce excellent citizens. With good teachers, if you have bad citizens, leaders, with good teachers, if you have bad leaders, we can change the leadership quickly into sound ones. So the teacher is the issue. If you have excellent teachers in schools, it means quality of education will still be retained and it will grow. So the teacher is number one. If this system of producing excellent teachers is in place, the issue of structure can follow. But government has the capacity. I'm concentrating on government because they are the major stakeholders in the provision of education in a society or in Nigeria or in Niger State. Of course, there are other agencies that provide education, but those ones are interventionist agencies. The religious organizations, the private citizens, the whatever, those ones are not the major providers of education. Even though the tertiary level is being turned by government, people, through selfishness, into a wholly tertiary, a wholly private affair, private citizens' affairs. University, very soon the universities, private universities will overtake the public universities in Nigeria. The teacher must have correct salary. I'm talking about how now do you fix the teacher. Because the teacher is the most lowly motivated citizen in Nigeria today. In our time, they were the highest motivated citizens. They were. We all know. They were motivated because we all went to boarding schools. It's one of the mercies that we should show to government now. Otherwise, I would have started that all the boarding schools should be disbanded and turn every school to boarding. Because that's actually the first point. I'm coming from teacher now because of the belief that these people, the government, cannot at this point make all the schools boarding schools. Why do you need boarding schools? I'm returning to teacher. It's all part of teacher something. Why do you need boarding schools? Because education should majorly provide three things: knowledge, skills, character. In fact, it should be the other way around. Character, skill, knowledge. The last two cannot function independent of the other, but they can interchange position. So knowledge, skill, and good character. Sound individual. These are the major functions of education, as far as I'm concerned. Why should this be? Because the goal of school is to turn out an individual that has acquired these three elements for proper functioning in the community. Those are the reasons. Proper functioning. Meaning, these three elements are exactly what the individual needs to be a good citizen. And it is education or school that can provide that. Otherwise, the society becomes diseased. I mean, it will always have diseases in the man. And the more diseased the individuals are, the actors in society are, the less the progress and prosperity of society. Why should it be burdened? Schools that we should have. One, all human beings spend their lives obeying instructions. Look at yourself. Till the end of time, all you do in your life is to obey instructions, whether prescribed or unprescribed. Refusal to obey instructions means a walk towards a diseased society. Because, like I said in the beginning, you cannot be sure, no matter how good a man is. Man means human beings. You can't be sure that at all the times he is doing the right thing. Now, if the children are supposed to be sound and functional at adulthood, then proper training must take place. And that's why those days it was boarding throughout. Because in boarding, you spend more than half of the day obeying instructions for the next 5 years, teachers' college. Why they couldn't take us to boarding in primary school is because you naturally are a servant to parents. If you are a child and you dare not break the instruction. So for the next 12 years, you have obeyed enough instructions. Boarding, you are going to boarding because the age in which you are getting into boarding, this issue is big. The age in which you are getting into boarding is the age of crisis. Teenage human beings, teenagers, because you must be 12 before getting to Form 1, right? You must be 12. So from 12, the child is developing independence. That's why you must, so that what the home has built is not destroyed throughout this period of crisis, from 11 to 19 or to 18. So you are kept in school. So the times we spent in school those days were more than the times we spent at home. Because if you must do first time, second time, third time, each 3 months, 9 months you are in college. 9 months, but you are in college obeying rules, including the academic rules of learning. So that after 5 years, you are now prepared to engage the society because you must go to university. But because you were well taught that time, even after finishing Form 5, you started teaching. People will start teaching after Form 5 because you were turned out as a rounded character already, a beginner rounded character. Now that every school is deboarding, again you have lost more than half of what the child used to receive those days. That's why comrade will lament, you will lament, I will lament. So that is no longer there. Because the end is greater than the beginning. You know why? Don't forget that. You are not only learning academics in teachers' college, because teachers' colleges were even more than secondary schools those days. You were first of all learning discipline. Discipline. Because excellence, from my storybook, excellence without Jesus is zero. That's from my story. It's a character in my storybook who said that. What is Jesus symbolizing there? Discipline. That whatever you have gotten in life without discipline, it is still zero. You know why? It is small things that constitute a sound society. Small things. Respect. Listening. Something as simple as listening. For society, you must be able to be a person that listens. Love. Help. Small things. These are the binding linings, elements, binding. These are the binding forces of society. No greed. Don't take advantage of others. What is not yours, don't take it. If you are going to take it, take permission. Should be not the thing whether they teach us also for quality that. Because these are the issues that define human operation daily in society, irrespective of where you are. Whether on the street, in the class, in the organization, and the rest of them. See, look at it now. Let's say these things I just mentioned, these simple things that look insignificant. Let's say that these are the things that are defining our operations today in life. Will we be hungry? Will anybody loot government? You were taught how not to take something that is not yours. Wouldn't the roads be fixed? You were taught how to work hard and deliver services accordingly, like the teachers were providing us those days. Will we get bad roads? No. Would we get bad schools? No. Would we have thieves? No. Would you have children who are running sex unlimitedly? No. All the problems of today were simply as a result of those little things that have been abandoned. Issue na character. Why I'm dwelling on the character thing is that any other thing that is bad in our educational system or school system can be fixed. You only need to say, provide the tables and the chairs, and it is provided. Today, that you have done, is that a problem? No. But if the man is not well trained, based on the things I've highlighted, then he won't provide them. If the government says, build these schools in 1 month, is it impossible? No. Provide this number of textbooks, is it impossible? No. Pay the teachers the highest salary in Nigeria, is it impossible? No. Behave well. And then start behaving well today? No way. Which means character is the most difficult thing to render to children in school. It is the loss of those characters that have pushed on to have arrived in this terrible degeneration we're in today. So we won't say they should make all the schools supporting. But there's something else they can do that can take care of some of the problems engendered by lack of character, is to pay the teachers the highest salary in the country. Why not? Because it's only the teacher. It's only the teacher that has good teacher. Well, in our time, all the teachers were good. All the teachers were good. What was bad in some of them is that some of them were drinking. They were drunkards. But in Ushishi those days, the one that drank more was the best loved by the students. He was a history teacher from Jos, Dean Kasuneshi. He was such a drunkard that he wore only one dress, and at the back of it he said, I am an alcoholic. In case of emergency, fetch me a large drink. That was what the man wrote throughout. He was a sound teacher to the point that, all the school will converge in his class, anytime he was teaching history, to seniors, our seniors. So that the school said, hey, your lecture now will not be on the regular timetable. Your teaching will now be during preps. And you will be holding it in the hall. You can see the value attached to even the history that you no longer teach, the history of your country and your society. You have thrown that away, and you are going to sciences, technology, which is of course you should go to. But developed societies today have made their own technologies according to their cultural definition. So everybody is going to. So, nobody pay the teacher. Once the teacher is the highest paid character, I will leave my role at IBB University and go to Hilltop Model School. That's enough. And that is when you can have the best of teachers in our schools, because money is an essential factor in the operation of the individual and society. Everybody will run back. Why? They want money. That's when comrade will come in and say, okay, all of you are here now, we are the highest paid people in Nigeria, and you have evacuated your community to this place. Where is your teacher registration certificate? Where is your college of education certificate? Where is your degree certificate in education? So half of those who ran to you to become teachers will now go away because there is criteria for being a teacher. What did you? So this one is not impossible. By the time you have done this, you know you have now activated your primary schools and secondary school towards the point in which you want them to go to. Go back about. And then the issue of infrastructure and the rest will come in. Which are the things that should come first? To be the library, which is the soul of every school, library. And then the workshops and the laboratories. All of them must come in. The environment must also be fixed. Then, once you have redirected the school towards this movement, then we say, okay, let's overhaul our syllabus. And because what is the demand of today's world? What kind of education is required in the world today? That's what we go into your syllabus. In fact, things like IRK, CRK, all of them should get out of school system. And the imams are already taking care of those ones and the pastors, more than even the teachers in the school. Actually, but there's no need. There's no need. It is purely science and technology and creativity, skill. In fact, if you emphasize on creativity, your technology and sciences are in order. After all, science came from creativity. Science came from art. Skill, shine. The things you call extracurricular activities, no way. They are now curricular activities. They should carry the same value as physics, chemistry, government, PhD, biology. The things you call extracurricular, because they are actually not extracurricular. How many years do you spend in school system? Not more than 22. You have graduated. Go, and you are to live for the next 80 years. Deduct 22 years from 80. No, again. 60 now. 50 now. 58. So you spend 58 years getting married. Are you parenting? 58 years leading human beings. 58 years operating in society. But school system, which one is more curricular? That should be the most curricular activity now. You understand? So that's why the values should be the same. And if you give the values, I mean, those things, something like SUG, MSS, FCS, Native People Association, Association of Idiots, you know, all those ones should carry scores. They should carry marks. So that when they become leaders in their schools, they know they are scoring marks. When they are doing church club, they know they are scoring marks. When they are doing debating and society, they know they are scoring marks. So you have attached value to them, to those things that you call extracurricular. As a curricular means primary, necessary. Extracurricular means secondary. So these things should carry value, and that's what should define your new syllabus or your new curriculum in the education. And the entrepreneurship is someone who bring them forward. Let them be the thing. You know, now, all the children are, if you are on Facebook, they are mocking at your educational system. Some are even going back to their schools. Whether it is true or not, it is a statement, isn't it? That they have returned their degree. Please pay me my money back and take your certificate back. Yes, sir. What are they saying? They are mocking at the Nigerian educational system. Elsewhere, it's not like that. Because the value of going to school is relevant in their lives. And that's why the government, because the major problem is the government. Leave parents, please, for God's sake, leave the teachers. Don't blame them. I don't blame the children. I don't blame them. You know why? The meaning of their being in the society is to be guided by the adults until they are ripe to be human beings. Who is saying they are not doing well? You were guided. Somebody made you like that. You didn't just fall into society and nobody talked to you and then you arrived decent. You arrived correct. No. Have we done these duties? We haven't done these duties, so you don't blame them. Don't blame the parents, for God's sake. Is it the parent that will go and provide the chairs? Answer me now, these things are clear. Is it the child who will provide the table or the chalk? Is it the child who will pay the salary? Who are the ones defining these things? It's government. Government is number one. When we were doing social studies, on the provision of education, on the manufacturing of a decent individual. In bringing up decent individual. It's government. Government is number one. So you are blaming them, school is bad. What do you expect them to do? They are carrying daggers and knives to schools. No way. And we must say that what the child is what the parents are. No doubt about it. Those days, you dare not to mess up as a child, even on the street. No way. Every man or woman was a father and mother on the street farm. So this is the situation. The boarding. Have proper supervision. Have proper configuration by doing these ones that I have highlighted. That this is the first point. If by Form 5, SS3, if by SS3 you have produced this decent child, you don't need much work in the university. There's no work in the university. He knows why he's there. And at the end of the day, you can be sure that the government and parents are undertaking now will not be there too, because majority of the work has been done. Lastly, it's technology. While changing your syllabus, we must find how technology will work with it. That should form part of the new syllabus. There are points in our educational system that we need to also overhaul. At the university, do not burden the children with so many courses. No need. So much repetition. So let's reduce the number of years, except for technology. Even that one we can reduce it. reduce the number of years they spend in the university, and then provide concrete and functional education to them. That will do. The world is so configured in a way that we have time for self-learning. In fact, the quality you are getting in your universities now is not as a result of what the teachers are giving them. ICT, computer, and the rest of them, it's not what the teachers are teaching them that made them. If you ask the Commissioner for Communication, Technology, and all the things he's doing that fetch him this position now because he's an expert in the ICT and the rest of them, it's not a future that brought him up. It's not the university. They were doing it themselves. I have children in Hilltop Art Center now who have already known so many things in ICT and they are not even in university yet. So let's not burden our syllabus with so many traditional things. You understand? For example, for me, I've been learning PhD since the Government Teachers College, Bushishi. It was even composed in those days. I came to COE again. PhD, the things they taught me there, they came to teach me in COE again. I went to Zaria and they were teaching me the same thing. For what? So let's reduce to what they require and reduce the number of years. NYC system should be thoroughly modified. Thoroughly. Instead of taking them, you can take them to various states, but that too is not necessary because Nigerians are so mixed now that you don't even need to post people to various places. But that should also be partially part of it. It should be modified in the sense that they should not just go to camp, because NYC is also part of the educational system. It is serving your country, but it's actually part of your foreign level. Because the curriculum has changed towards technology, science, and creativity, the NYC camp should not be for parade only. Parade is correct. I am PhD. Parade is correct because all the things I have said, sound character and the rest of them, without sound body is still zero. Because the essence is to have citizens who are producing. Any economy that is not producing, it's zero. And because you are producing now, producing every aspect, that's why I say each subject should have elements of technology to it because of production. If you are not producing, your economy does not grow. And if you are producing massively for the world, then you must also have military to support it. Because there's so much treachery in international scene, in geopolitics and the rest of it. You get what I'm saying? That's, by the way, sound body in a sound mind. So our camps, because we want productive citizens now who are coming out of the university, our NYC camps should now be a camp for fitness and a camp for beginning to prepare citizens that will produce. Therefore, what you should find in our NYC camps, correct camps, government has to make provisions for constructing these camps now. Because what you will now find in the camps are units, centers that will take care of skill production by all the graduating students that are in that camp. If I am PhD, what will I do if I leave this camp? What will I set up? Exercise fitness place, petty health issues in the community, sports facilities, sports equipment. Elsewhere, these things are the things that move sports. Something as ordinary as sports fashion. Everybody thinks you're just jumping if you are doing PhD. But it's so diverse, including nutrition. It's so diverse that you don't even need to go and jump. You can set up these things. So as a graduating PhD student, by 400 level, I should have submitted my project that is productive, or I should submit 2 projects. One that takes care of the subject, and one that takes care of what I will do, what I will produce at the camp. Because you would have prepared a business plan, that's what I'm saying, along with your normal projects, which is copy these days safe. They are going to pick from somewhere, copy and paste, and then give to the teacher. So even those projects, 80% of it is nonsense. But this one, the business plan that you submit along with your project and graduate, it is scoreable too. You will continue with that plan during your NYSC. So instead of staying in the camp for 1 month, 21 days, you are now going to stay in the camp for between 3 to 6 months. What are you doing? You are perfecting what you will do with the business plan. Because after 6 months, government should be able to provide you with the credit to go and start. Money to go and start that thing. If they even know that they will access 5 million naira, 4 million naira, 3 million naira at the end of NYC orientation camp or this new system of the camping, they will pay attention to what they are doing at school. Because you will get, if you have ambitious plan, you can get as much as 10 million naira. Nigeria can provide it. Remember I said looting must be kept aside to provide money for these services. If they know they will take 5 million naira, 6 million naira, 10 million naira after camp to go and start their business, they will pay attention. And you have started creating an economy that is productive, that is producing, where the majority of the people or students you are turning out to the society are producers. They don't even want to work with the government because there's something at hand. Then you have started changing the Nigerian environment generally. After that, majority will need no more education. The rest of the education to learn will be on the streets of Nigerian society. Because, in fact, if you are asked, one man said there are 2 kinds of education. That the ones you learn in the classroom and the ones you learn outside the classroom. If you are asked which one is the most important, tell them that the one you learn outside the classroom is the most important. There is a sense in that. If you have learned physics, chemistry, biology, and so what? And so what? If you are a professor in government, geography, mathematics, and so what? You know, ordinarily they say professors, they are learned, right? They are actually ignorant because the professor of physics and mathematics cannot tell me with NCE, PhD. There's nothing he can tell me. You get what I'm saying? So, if we do not do this, we won't get anywhere. Why do you need to do this? Because each serious society is defined by concrete philosophies of the society. There is one single philosophy that every citizen is looking at in terms of a country. You don't have any in Nigeria. So you can see the interrelationship between these points to having a decent society. Even the education you want fixed now is for what? It's all for peaceful, prosperous society. And you know that if the individual is not well raised, rounded, that society cannot come about. Therefore, history has to return. History has to return for God's sake. Because that's where they built this concrete society that is binding all the citizens. What is the Nigerian philosophy? All the things you prayed, second standard, took us upside down. All the things you said now, upside down. In fact, the fact that you are doing it is mere traditional formality. It is of no consequence. Your national anthem is of no consequence. Your national pledge is of no consequence. The philosophy I'm talking about is inside here, there. So, China, they know where they're going. Russia, they know where they're going. US, they know where they're going. Even Saudi Arabia knows. Iran is a good example for you. They know where they're going. So every action of the citizen, of the student, you learn it in school, but of the citizen is geared towards that common philosophy that is binding all of you. But now, you are scattered. You are scattered. You don't even know how to get a good leader in Nigeria. Kuma, it is this supreme leader, the highest, the president, that is the custodian of that philosophy. If you are Kwasan Kashi, you know the philosophy, you know where you're heading. If you are a driver, you know. If you are a teacher, you know the philosophy, where the country is heading. But there's none here now, because you don't even know who the leader should be. So your education has not provided the right thing. And that's why we must restart. Maybe I should stop here. Thank you.